I generated over 150 different video clips last night using the Sora $200 a month plan. And in this video, I wanted to show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'll show you the ratio of good clips I got out of that 150. Some were even fixable because they have really neat tools like recutting tools and remixing tools. And I also ran some generations, the same exact prompt inside of Runway, which is right now my preferred text to video generation platform. And I'll compare some of that with you too. And at the end of the video, I'll share my opinion about the price, but I think it'll become pretty transparent based on the type of things that you do, if it's worth it when you see some of these results. Now you could access Sora at Sora.com. So the plan I'm gonna show you here is the Pro plan. That's the $200 a month plan. Now, if you're using this $200 plan just for Sora, I could already tell you, I don't think that's worth it. But remember that $200 a month plan comes with a lot of things inside of ChatGPT. So you get access to ChatGPT o1 Unlimited too. So that's a really advanced text model inside of ChatGPT. You get access to DALL-E, you get access to custom GPT. So a ton of videos I have about different things inside of that. So a lot of people were comparing the price to Runway, but Runway has a $96 a month unlimited plan. This is $200 a month, but it's not apples to apples because ChatGPT has a lot more that also includes Sora, right? So you got to keep that in mind. If you're only using it for Sora though, well, I think that's way too expensive, that 200, at least this version of it right now. You also get this max resolution at 1080p and you get to download without watermarks. So this is nice. The $20 plan doesn't let you do that. Okay, the best place to start I found is under the Future tab where you could see different generations that other people have created. This is the one I actually created last night that they put on the Future tab. So if you click on any of them, you could see the prompt over here. So you could actually take the same exact prompt and then generate it for yourself from that same page. And then some of these other options that I'll point out as we go through this video in more detail. And under the video tab, these are all the generations that are created, but I specifically put some of my favorites, well, all my favorites under the favorite tab so you could heart them. So I'll show you some of these, but I also want to show you the really bad fails. And then sometimes when Runway just completely beat this Sora model as well. Now, the next one was a dimly lit warehouse filled with crates and shadows and a curious figure walking through the space. And if you click this preset option, you could actually change how it is. So by default, it's set to none. That's typically what you want most of the time. But I tried all these different variations. So this is the cardboard one. Let me show you what that looks like. And it's kind of creative, really interesting way to create something unique. And I use this prompt right here to do this in every variation. So a robot walks alone through a deserted city with broken buildings. So this is the cardboard style. Now this one's more the archival style. So it doesn't quite look archival. It looks like more like a dystopian movie, but some of the archival stuff came out pretty well. This one is called Bloom World, which I don't really know why you would choose that one, but this is what that looked like with the same exact prompt. And I was able to create my own prompt. So this one, I created a prompt. So let me show you. I'm gonna edit the prompt. I'll show you this drop down right here. And I use Crystal Kingdom, which is one I made up. And if I go to manage the presets, you could actually duplicate any one of them. So for example, this archival one, if you select it, you could go ahead and click this on top and duplicate it. And that's how I duplicated this Crystal Kingdom. And then you could rename it. And then you could see the preset is defined this way. So there's a theme, color, film stock, lighting, and content transformation and vibe. So I actually gave one to ChatGPT as an example, and I said, create me another one that is similar to this one, but in a different style. And that prompt gave me something like this. And you could see all of them have theme, color, film stock, and so on. So the default ones, it doesn't look like you could edit, but you could just duplicate and create your own new preset on top too. Here's another one that turned out really well. Waves gently crash into a sandy beach with seashells scattered around. Again, this one I used the prompt in regular formatting and it turned out really well. And let me show you some where the next option where you could create the aspect ratio in different formats. So you could do vertical videos, which is nice. And here's a bunch of different vertical videos I created. This one was supposed to be the film noir style. So I created that in film noir and that, wow. Okay, that one didn't work out at all. Let's look at this one. Detective office with blind casting striped shadows. Okay, well, there's a few seconds of that that might be useful. Now, let me show you actually with this one, this option that is very useful. I fixed a lot of my videos that got generated like this where I had some usable stuff in there. So this one is called recut. So this part of the video is actually good. So I could trim the beginning part and take it all the way to here. So now everything before it, the few seconds before it, is gonna get regenerated as soon as I go ahead and create right here. I'll show you an example where I actually fixed it while this is generating. Okay, here's a cat jumps into the windowsill. Okay, look what happens with this one. Looking good. Oh, okay, that totally got messed up. And by the way, look how quickly this is generating. The first day I couldn't generate anything. Last night it was generating things at like 5-10 seconds speed here. Again, with the $200 plan that I have. And I use that recut here on that cat, and that's pretty good. Archival remix is done. It fixed the issue that we had with that shot. It's still very boring. Let me see. This one has a little more movement. Okay, this one's pretty good. This one has a bit of a dolly motion to it. Not bad. And by the way, in this prompt box, every time you do prompt it, if this is your first time using it, you typically want to start with the 480p, get something that you want, and then maybe remix it to get the higher resolution, like 1080p. This video is in 1080p that you're watching, so I'm showing you some of these on screen because they're in 480p. They'll be too small for a video like this. But if you were to download it, you usually want to upres it. And the duration, I tried a bunch of different durations, and the 5-second typically gave me the best results. The longer I went, the more things start to fall apart. I'll show you an example of one that fell apart. Okay, here's a 20-second one of a lively wedding reception. Okay, so the bride started there, and then there, and then there, and then there. So this bride, there's like 4 of the same brides, and then I guess she has a twin sister, and yeah, this one is just a complete mess. I wasn't even really able to recut this one because there was really no point where it made any sense. And they have this other option I wanted to show you. This is called Storyboard. So let me click this. Storyboard lets you create multiple different frames and tell an entire scene. So this will be your shot 1. You would give it an image or a text prompt, and then later you would have a second shot, and it will try to mix in what's in the middle here. Okay, so I'll show you with a real example. Okay, this one, there was 3 pieces to the storyboard, and I tried to do a 20-second scene here where I explained the beginning with a text prompt, the middle part right here, and then the ending, right? So this was in the style of cardboard, but it was supposed to be a scene in a courtroom. And let me show you what that ended up looking like. Okay, it started, I guess, kind of okay, but I don't know what's going on over here. But this is where the scene now transitions to a different part. So this thing doesn't make any sense, but some of these other pieces are okay. And oh, all of a sudden, we have a human judge, although this was supposed to be in cardboard style, and it decided to go a whole different direction. Now, this was one of my favorite shots. This is just very simple, and this was a storyboard too, so it did have 2 different shots to it, and this was inside of a cozy coffee shop, and I give it a lot of description on how this coffee shop should look, and I think it did a really good job with that one. And by the way, I haven't shown you this, but when you download over here, there's this download option, and you download the video, well, it's going to download it with a watermark. So if you want to change that, let me go back to this video. You could go ahead and click this option and download without a watermark instead to make sure it downloads without a watermark, which is this little watermark over here. And with the $20 plan, you'll always have this, and you can't remove it unless you just crop manually into your shot. Now, the other option you have is if you press the plus sign, you could actually start with an image. So if you generate an image elsewhere or yourself, you could upload that. If you're using any faces, you need the $200 plan to do that. I'm going to show you this example. This is something inside of Midjourney that I created. And I'm going to show you with Runway using the exact same thing. And then I want to compare a couple of other text prompts inside of Runway. So here's the image. There we go. And oh man, that was painful. Okay, let's look at the same one inside of Runway in slow-mo. That looks fantastic. So if you haven't used Runway before, the plan I'm using, I think, was like $15 a month, but it's credit-based, and you can't create that many, but they do have an unlimited plan at $96 a month. And they have different models. So this Gen 3 Alpha Turbo, this is the fastest image to video generation. And you also have one where you could just type in a text prompt. So a group of friends sit around a campfire laughing and roasting mushroom. Let me show you that inside of Runway. Okay, this is pretty good. Some weird stuff's happening with the fireworks. Let me show you Sora. Okay, same exact prompt. More people, which is more like a group. The other one was more like a couple. But I have no idea what kind of marshmallows. These marshmallows are the size of a big rock. Here's the second one. Again, totally weird generation. A giant monster slowly walks through a foggy city while people run. Okay, that looks actually pretty good. I don't see any people. Can't really see the street, but pretty interesting. And this one inside of Sora, this is another option that I found really useful. So they have down here this option that will let you remix a video. So if you want to remix the video, you just click this, and then you describe something you want to add, remove, or replace. So in this case, I wanted to change these boots to turn red. So I just chose one of these options, so you could strongly vary it, mildly, or subtly. When I did mild, it only made the bottom of the boots red. But I chose strong and I said, change the yellow boots to red boots and then press remix. They also have another option that's a custom remix where you could choose a strength on the remix from 1 to 8 to give you even more control than the 3 options you have over here. And here's the option that we got out of that. So it did change the pants. So that very strong changed the pants. The boots did change. Sometimes the splashes don't quite sync up yet, so I might have to regenerate this a couple more times, or I could use that edit tool I showed you and regenerate the part where it messes up. A bird lands on a tree and starts singing in the wind. Okay, that looks pretty good actually. This is one of the best generations I got. Okay, a family sets up a picnic in a park. That's really good. That just looks like a stock video clip here. I don't see like tiny issues here if you really look closely, but I think if it was in like a 2-second portion of a commercial, 3-second portion, looks pretty good. Okay, so let me go to my favorites tab, because on this tab right now, I have 35 different clips saved that I think are pretty good. So those are the ones that I didn't have to make any adjustment to it. And this one was even a 20-second shot. This was the only 20-second shot that I thought was pretty useful throughout the whole video, which I found a lot of drone shots actually let you do that. This was a sunrise over a quiet suburban street. I did not say to make it a drone shot, but I thought it worked the entire time. So 35 shots, I generated little over 150. So if a quarter of the shots are usable, and I always use this option where I got 2 variations at the same time and I picked between the 2. You could do 4 as well, but that's going to eat up your credits a little bit faster. Even with the unlimited plan that I have, you still get limited fast generations. Then it gets into the relaxed generation, which is called unlimited. Runway has the same thing where it's unlimited, but it's very slow. But from that total 150, there was another 25% or so that were savable, just like the cat video I showed you. So you could use some of the tools that they have built in to save any existing video that you have. And I found that to be extremely useful too. So I was able to save a bunch of different clips, and half of them just weren't usable at all. Like I wouldn't even take the time to fix it. I would probably reprompt. But I found Runway actually was more consistent just because I have more control inside of Runway. Inside of Runway, for example, you have all kinds of camera control. So you could change the pan, the zoom, the roll. You could do all kinds of different presets, close-up dolly. So this is, I think, more designed for filmmakers and cinematographers. So the first day when I was using it, I absolutely did not think it was worth even $20 a month. I'll show you this with this grid view here. These are all the videos I generated. So if I go back to the very beginning, some of them wouldn't just generate at all. So you see a lot of them had errors here. This is when it was really busy on launch day. So a lot of it just didn't generate. But if I go up top, when I was using it at 11 o'clock at midnight, everything was generating fast. Everything was better for some reason. I don't know if that was correlated with the amount of people that were using it, but a lot of my results were just instantly better. So my opinion is, if you're just buying Sora for Sora, this plan, this $200 plan, try Runway for now till the next version of Sora comes out. If you are going to be a heavy user of ChatGPT, if you use custom GPTs, if you use DALL-E, if you use some of the things that require the paid upgrade to the $200 plan and you want the unlimited access to them outside of Sora, and you're going to use Sora, it's well worth it to me. And again, it's my personal opinion, and a lot of people are upset about the price, but it's a big bundle of different things they just put in one. So I think if they rolled out Sora on their own, they probably would have charged closer to $100 a month. So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know again what you think of it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.